quitar mi terruño, yo no puedo evitar sentirme como extranjero en mi pueblito natal. Los amigos del antaño me saludan al pasar y enseguida me preguntan, hermano, ¿cuándo te vas?
No eres de aquí,
Porque aquí no naciste,
ni eres de allá.
porque emigraste un día para acá.
No eres de aquí,
Porque aquí no naciste,
ni eres de allá.
porque emigraste un día.
Hello, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the salsa music. I'm a salsera, so I always like to start any program that I do with salsa music. So I was dancing in the background. My name is Marilyn Alverio. I think I know a lot of you out there. Thank you so much for signing up to be with us today. Today's workshop seminar is only going to be about 40 minutes, no more than that. So first of all, congratulations for making the decision to sign on today. Hopefully some of your parents are with you. But by way of saying thank you, we are going to be sending you a leather-bound journal with a pen from CHET for you and for your parents for signing up today. So Latinas in Power is hosting today's presentation, and we have one of our sponsors, CHET and Fidelity, that have asked me to make sure that I share this information with you about a scholarship that is available through the CHET program. And so we're going to be walking through like what it looks like, what you need to do. And then we also thought that we would add 15 minutes or so to talk to you about money, saving money, the importance of saving money, and the importance of starting young. As a Latina, my family came from Puerto Rico, and they came a while back. I was born and raised here, but fortunately they spoke Spanish to me in the home, so I'm fully bilingual and bicultural. I'm originally from New Britain, Connecticut, and I just remember never thinking that college was an option for us. But now, I did have the opportunity to go to college. I did find some scholarships that were able to help me. And so any little bit helps. And so hopefully today you're going to walk away with some information about the importance of saving your money, ways to save it, and then also this fabulous scholarship program that is being offered that you may qualify for. There's like 80 scholarships that they're going to give away. 2 of them are $5,000, and one of them, and then 75 of them, no, one of them is $5,000 and 75 of them are $1,000 each. To qualify, we're going to talk about that a little later, is you need to be going into your senior year. I always say that if you're here and you're a high school student that's not in your 11th grade or even 12th grade, this is important information for you to share with others as well. So we look for young people to serve as ambassadors and to serve as advocates for the importance of advanced education for all of us, and to really elevate the Latino community to where it should be. So thank you once again. I'm going to introduce you now to our sponsor, who's going to do an official welcome.
Hola a todos, my name is Alejandra Escanio and I work for Fidelity Investments as a Senior Marketing Manager, managing their 529 program. And I am so excited to be here today to welcome you to this amazing Latinas in Power Lunch and Learn presented by CHET, Connecticut's 529 College Savings Plan. As a Latina who migrated to the United States in her senior year of high school, I understand how difficult it is to navigate college funding and applications. And that's why I am so proud to introduce you today to the CHET Dream Big Competition, where this year's members of the senior class of 2022 will have the chance to win up to $5,000 for college. The goal of the CHET Dream Big competition is to help students in Connecticut achieve their college dreams. So get your applications in at chetdreambig.com and be one of this year's 80 recipients. Do not forget to check out the rules and details. On behalf of CHET and Fidelity, thank you so much for being here today, and I wish you all of the success in the world as you complete your senior year of high school. I hope you find today's Lunch and Learn useful, walk away with some great information, and a great start to your Dream Big application.
Thank you so much. Latinas Power usually holds an annual symposium at the Marriott Hotel in downtown Hartford every year. And of course, with COVID, we have switched to virtual, but we do have one coming up in October. And one of the things that we have done is that we include a youth track, a track that is designed for high school students. We work closely with the schools to make sure that students know about it. And, we work with folks like Dr. Leslie Rodriguez, who has been so helpful in the Hartford area. And I'm hoping that through this platform now that we're reaching even more schools throughout the state of Connecticut. So please do contact us if you're interested in learning more. Our website is latinasandpower.com. We are on all social medias, on Facebook and Instagram, and happy to share that information with you. So what we're going to do, there's two things that we're going to do in the next half hour. One is we're going to spend 15 minutes to talk about money management, and Rebecca Melly on my staff, who has a degree in finance and has a passion, especially for a young person, to really put your arms around talking about how to save money and the importance of money. So we're going to start off with a presentation from her, and once we're done with Rebecca, then you're going to come back to me, and I'm going to walk you through the CHET Dream Big competition. So without further ado, let's introduce Rebecca Melly.
Hi everyone, I am thrilled to be here today. I'm Rebecca Melly. I'm a consultant with Latinas Power Corporation. Just a little bit more about me before we get started. I was born and raised in New Britain, Connecticut. I have a Bachelor of Science in Finance from the University of Connecticut, but most importantly, I have a deep passion for the topic of personal finance. Today we will be focusing on wealth building and more specifically, financial literacy. As you graduate from high school and start this new chapter, or even if you are in your earlier years of high school, you need to put time and focus into your financial goals and include the topic of money management into your vocabulary. First, what is financial literacy? It is the ability to understand and apply different financial skills effectively. This includes personal financial management, which is what we're discussing today, budgeting, and saving. Why is financial literacy so important? With the correct financial knowledge, you can make effective choices about your financial goals. You'll be able to create and protect your credit and learn how to manage debt. These are all very important things if you plan on buying a car, buying a house, or financing any type of purchases. All of these skills are to lead you to financial stability and eventually to financial freedom. We are going to discuss 4 elements that contribute to your personal financial wellness. Number 1, budgeting. Number 2, saving. Number 3, credit. And number 4, continuous learning. Let's get into budgeting. What is a budget? An estimate of income and an expenditure for a set period of time. All right, so to start working on our budget, we're going to write down what we earn. You will most likely do this monthly, but you can adjust it to whatever is appropriate. For example, you might be budgeting for the entire college semester. Then we are going to write down all of our expenses. Your expense list would include a car payment, rent, insurance, gas, food for the month, and then add them all up. It's very important to have a clear picture of how much your expenses are. This allows you to plan out your financial goals. Now you're going to subtract all of your expenses from your earned income. Now, the remaining dollar amount you can save, invest, or use as expendable income. Take this step further, we're going to introduce a strategy. A common budgeting strategy that incorporates this step is called the 50-20-30 rule. 50% of your income earned after taxes is used for needs and expenses. 30% of your earned income after taxes is used for wants, your expendable income, and 20% of your earned income after taxes will be used for savings. For example, if you earned $1,000 a month after taxes, you are going to be taking $500 and use that for your needs. Then you will be taking $300 and you'll be using it for your wants. And the remaining $200 you will be using for savings. This strategy is very helpful, especially when you're just starting to get into personal finance. It's very helpful when making financial decisions. You can use this as a guide to what kind of car payment or what type of rent you can afford. You can use this to help make decisions that will maintain your financial stability and wellness. This is just one example of a budgeting strategy. There are endless ways that you can implement a successful money strategy, but the most important thing when budgeting is to have a strategy, and always make sure that there is a spot in your budget for savings. All right, now that we have discussed our budget, we're going to shift and to discuss savings. And the two important ideas I want to talk to you guys about today are an emergency fund and retirement planning. But first, the emergency fund. What is an emergency fund? An emergency fund should have up to 6 months of income saved to cover living expenses for that time period. For example, if you earn $1,000 a month and your cost of living each month, your rent, bills, food, etc., add up to $600 a month, then you would want to set aside $600 for 6 months, which equals $3,600. And why you would do this is to protect yourself in a financial crisis, unexpected job loss, a car repair, a medical crisis, anything that you would not be able to cover, you would then take from your emergency fund. And as you take from your emergency fund when in need, you would then replenish it later when you could. So it acts like your own personal bank. Instead of having to borrow, you already are taking from yourself. And what this does is it helps you manage your debt, because instead of using credit for something unexpected, you're using your credit for conscious purchases. How are we saving this $3,600 or whatever the amount may be in your emergency fund? Well, we're going to go back to our budget, and that 20% of savings that we have been taking each month and setting aside, part of that is going to be going into our emergency fund. An emergency fund should be on the top of your financial goals when you're starting this new chapter. Now let's talk about saving for retirement. And I know you guys are probably like, please calm down. But I just want to introduce some things to you so that you guys are ahead of the game. First, it's never too early, and second, it's completely feasible to start putting aside a small portion now. There are endless ways to save for retirement, but specifically today, I want to discuss IRAs and Roth IRAs with you. What is an IRA? An IRA is an individual retirement account set up at a financial institution by an individual with tax advantages. So what does that mean? That means that the money in that account might have tax-free growth, or if money was taken out, tax-free deferment. I know a lot of you have probably heard the term 401k, so I want to discuss the difference between a 401k and a traditional IRA. A 401k is set up by your employer. Many jobs will offer that to you in their benefit package, but a 401k will have its own set of rules set by your employer. Many people choose to have an IRA in addition to their 401k to ensure their financial wellness, or possibly if you do consulting work or something like that, then you would absolutely want to open up an IRA for yourself to start planning for retirement. We're going to shift a little bit and go into a Roth IRA. What is the difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA? A Roth IRA, you are paying taxes on the money before it goes into the account. So if you were ever to take money out of the account, those taxes are already paid. Most important thing when planning retirement or opening any type of retirement account is to find the correct account for yourself that contribute to your financial goals and do your research. The key takeaway is to make sure you're allocating a portion of your savings into a retirement fund. Okay guys, let's talk about credit. What is credit? This is going to be so important for you guys in the next few years, the next 10 years, when you really are looking to start purchasing the big stuff, cars and houses. So what is credit? The trust that allows one party to provide money or resources to a second party that does not pay it back immediately. Credit is a crucial part of debt management. We are going to talk about credit scores and interest rates. So let's start. To create credit and build a credit score, you will need to use credit. You may do this by opening your first credit card. Because you don't have any credit, you may start off with a very high interest rate. As you build credit over time, you'll be offered a lower interest rate. They will give you a limit to start. For example, you have opened a new card with a $300 limit to be paid every 30 days with an interest rate, which is called an APR, of 20%. You spend your whole limit of $300. What are your options? Our first option, you planned for these purchases, you were very disciplined, and you now pay off the entire amount before the due date, and you will not be charged any interest. The second option, you went a little bit above what you could spend, and now you only have $25 to pay the minimum payment. So this leaves you with the remaining balance of $275 because you paid $25. You now owe $330. How did we get $330? The original $275 plus a $55 interest charge. What's the third option? Oh no, you did not pay any dollar amount before the due date. You now owe $360. $300 from the original amount and $60 in interest. And I have news. Credit cards have compounding interest. So the next month rolls around and unfortunately you decide you can't make that payment either. What happens? You now have a debt of $432. The original debt of $300, the interest from the first month, $60, and the new compounded interest of $72. So in addition to the $300 you spent, you now owe $132 more. So you can see how quickly debt can grow if you're not spending within your means and you're not consciously managing your debt. How you handle credit will affect your credit score. Your credit score is what helps determine your eligibility when you buy a car, a house, anything that needs to be financed. They will pull your credit score. Your credit score is determined by multiple factors. Number one, on-time payments. Number two, oldest credit line. Number three, credit used. So if you have a $300 credit limit, you want to keep your usage under 10% if you want to increase and build your credit, which means you would only be using about $30 out of that $300. Number four, recent inquiries. When was the last time a creditor filed a claim against you with a debt? Number five, new accounts. When was the last time you tried to open an account, and how many accounts do you currently have open? Number six, how much available credit do you have available to you? This is very important because there's a big difference with your credit score if you have a line of $300 versus if you had a line of $10,000. A good credit score is between 690 and 719. A great credit score is 720 to 850. The higher your credit score, the lower your interest rate. Also, the higher your credit score, the higher credit lines are available to you. Something else to consider when managing debt is your debt to income ratio. This means the amount of debt you hold compared to your earned income. You can find this by dividing your total monthly debt by your gross monthly income. This is an important part of debt management and managing your credit because this will be a big factor when you choose to finance purchases. The key takeaway is to always be aware of your credit score and debt to income ratio so that you can actively be improving it if need be. The last thing I want to discuss with you is knowledge is power. You must put a conscious effort into creating and implementing a personal finance strategy. You are in control and you have the power to create financial stability for yourself. Do your research and continue to learn. Some ways that you can do this are use your time on Instagram and TikTok wisely. I know that sounds a little bit silly, but it's not. There are so many incredible accounts and influencers that cover saving, budgeting, investing, and it's much easier on those platforms to find a voice that you connect with and find a podcast that you can listen to always keep yourself informed. Another thing I would do is YouTube. They have all of these incredible videos covering all kinds of different topics that you can look into for Roth IRAs, cryptocurrency. It's a very easy way to keep yourself educated. And lastly, reading. There are so many incredibly informative books out there. My all-time favorite book about personal finance is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And it goes very in-depth in the importance of financial literacy. But again, there are so many different voices out there. All you have to do is go out there and find it to obtain the knowledge. I wish you all the best on your personal finance journey. And please just remember the most important factors are having a strategy and having and actively working towards your financial goals. I want to thank you all so much for your time. Thank you to CHET for creating this phenomenal scholarship opportunity and for having me here today. I wish you all the best on your future endeavors and congratulations to all the graduating seniors.
That's fantastic. I have to tell you, this information may seem or sound like it's too advanced, like, why would I be thinking about buying a house or buying a car? I'm only 15 years old. Well, guess what? It is not too early to start understanding the terminology, the concepts, money management. I wish I had this information when I was young. One of my keynote speakers that spoke last week is she's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, started with nothing, became a hairdresser, created a whole product line, and she now has $1 billion business. This is a real person, a Latina that was on my show last week. And one of the things that she told me is that her father took her to a financial literacy seminar when she was 10 years old. He started teaching her about the importance of taxes, credit scores, credit cards, how to use them at a very early age. I didn't have that. So I ruined my credit when I was by 19, I started getting credit card offers. I said, oh, free money. And I started using them without really understanding the impact of that. So the information that you just received from Rebecca is really important. I encourage you to follow some of her guidance and strategies to learn more about, how you can start your lives in a good place, in a solid place, so that you will be successful as you move forward from your high school years onto your future years, whether it's in a higher education, a vocational school, whatever you're going to do. This information is critical right now. As an active leader, I guess some people call me leader in the community. I just feel like I've learned a lot, and I want to share that with my community, having come from a Latino community from very poor beginnings, that I wish this information was available. But, I engage with other community leaders to make sure that we're providing our young people with good information. And so the next thing that we're going to talk about now is this scholarship. As a professional, I am absolutely committed to making sure that this information reaches our schools. So the CHET Dream Big Competition, first of all, I know you're here today, whether you're a senior or 11th grade or 10th grade or 9th grade, this Lunch and Learn is for you, because we wanted you to really get a good feel as we talk about money. But the CHET Dream Big Competition for the next round is for 11th grade students just finishing 11th grade going into your senior year. So if you feel that perhaps for this portion of the program it's not relevant to you, you're welcome to leave. However, this information can be shared with other people that you know as well if you are a senior. But if you're 9th grade, 10th grade, or 11th grade, this information is very important. So the CHET Dream Big competition is sponsored by the State of Connecticut Office of the Treasurer, Sean T. Wooden, who is a trustee for the Connecticut Higher Education Trust. That's what CHET stands for, Connecticut Higher Education Trust. Eligibility is, the award is, you have to be a legal resident of the state of Connecticut. You must be a high school senior in the fall of 2021. So scheduled to graduate from high school in 2022. That you are enrolled in a public school, a charter school, a home-based school, or a private or a public school as of this September 2021, and that you have a cumulative grade point average of 2.0 or better through the end of 11th grade. So you also are required to be interested in a higher education platform, which I said before can be a private college, it could be a technical or vocational college, any of those, and that you begin that in no later than September of 2023. There is a limit of one application, one eligibility per person. The entries are being received right now. So this is throughout the whole state of Connecticut, and often what happens is a lot of people don't know about it, which is why we wanted to do this seminar. But you can start now. The deadline is September 22nd of 2021 at 11:59 p.m. And then you would be notified by October 31st of 2021, and then the funds would be given in August of 2022 for your higher education. There is a selection criteria, a selection committee that evaluates all of the completed applications, and here's how they're weighed. The academic record is 40%. So for those of you that have done a super job through your academic journey, I congratulate you. There is an extracurricular and community involvement portion of this. Some of you may have heard how important it is to volunteer in the community, to do things, to do extracurricular activity. Well, the weight of that is 30% of this application. And then the third part of this is your personal statement meeting the requirements of this, which is the essay portion of this. There are 80 scholarships that are going to be awarded. 5 first prize of $5,000 each, and 75 of $1,000 each. How to apply, what documents you will need is next. You will be submitting your application online at the CHET Dream Big, and I'm going to share my screen with you so that you could see exactly where you need to go for this. Here it is right here. Here's where you need to go. It will say Fidelity at the top, and then it will say the CHET Dream Big Competition. It's chetdreambig.com. And this is where it walks you through the application process. That's where you click on everything, and it gives you other information. Here's where you enter the competition. When you enter the competition, it will say, this is for parents and this is for high school students. So you go to the right, get started, and then that's where it will populate. I'll ask you to create an account. That's your next step. I'm not going to create an account right now, but at least you know that's where the portion is. You're going to need a copy of your high school transcript, and your personal statement is the written essay. The written essay should be 500 words limit, or a video of 5 minutes or less on the topic of my future goals or leadership in my community. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the essay because it's so critically important. I don't see that there's any questions right now, but if you have a question, you can put it in the chat and I will answer it. But the importance of the essay is tell people who you are, what you're interested in, what your dreams are, share your personal story, and be as vulnerable as possible and as authentic as possible. I love the fact that you can do both a personal statement written essay as well as a video essay, because then it allows those people who maybe are not good writers, but they could use their words, and they're comfortable with using their words in front of a video, especially for young people today. So that is the Dream Big competition. As I mentioned, for attending today, we should have, when is it due? Good question. I think I went, let me go back here, notification. Okay, entries are being received now, so with a deadline of September 22nd of 2021 by 11:59 p.m. So when you go to that website, Alanis Rivera, when you go to that website, it will walk you through the process. I'm going to put my personal email in this chat. And this way, if you run into any trouble at all, Latinas and Power at gmail.com. There's my email. If you run into any trouble at all, you get stuck, you don't know what to say in your essay, I'm here to help you. I'll be happy to talk to anyone. Just send me an email and we'll set up some time. I think that is the end of that. I did mention that if you want to I can send these to you. They're really beautiful, leather bound with a beautiful pen in there. I'm happy to send it to you and for your parents, especially if they're on today. All you need to do is in the email, send me your address that you attended the event today and that you and give me your address. I also encourage you to be advocates, to be champions, and to get this information to other high school students that you think would be important. What we're going to do with today's video is it's been recorded, so we are going to put it on our YouTube channel, which is, David, can you put the YouTube channel in the chat? I'm sorry, I can't see your email in that chat. Can you say it again? Okay, email is Latinas and, I typed it wrong in there, so forget that. Latinas and Power at gmail.com. I'm so sorry, I typed it wrong. Latinas and Power at gmail.com. There's the email. You can't see the chat. So latinasandpower at gmail.com. You run into any problems, send me your address. I'll send you I'm going to take this one step further. If you share the video with other people, I will send for every person you share it with, I will send you one of these, because these are great journals to really kind of put your ideas and thoughts and all of your dreams in. I keep a journal all the time, and when I go back, I just go, oh my gosh, like I reached that goal. I did what I said I was going to do. So it's really kind of cool. Are there any other questions here? If not, we're going to close our session today. As I mentioned, David, can you put our YouTube, I don't know if you can do it, our YouTube channel in there. If you go to YouTube and put Latinas in Power, you will find all of our videos. Also, latinasandpower.com, which is our website. Well, we can send you there too if you can't find it. So with that, I'd like to, another question, Aaron will. There it is. It's youtube.com/ and then Latinas Power is what you put in there. Thank you so much, Aaron. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. And again, please share this information with others. The recording is going to be made available to the different schools. You have the whole summer to write this essay or to videotape this essay. Make it very interesting. Make it about you. You're so welcome, Pasboran. Thank you for staying until the end. I hope to hear from you in my email. Alani's, you too. You're so welcome. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. And I hope that you stay in touch with me, because I love working with high school students and dándole la mano to help others to make sure that they succeed. Thank you, everyone, and have a great weekend.
soy boricua, pa' que tú lo sepas. Con el palpitar del corazón latino. Salga.